Hello and welcome to my channel. Say hi to a happy day and enjoy listening while I read to you a story. Sweet Dreams. Remy the rat was very happy as the chef of his own little bistro. Remy and his human pal Linguini had recently opened a restaurant. It was called La Ratatouille. Every night, people from all over Paris lined up to wait for a table. They had no idea that the chef was a rat. Late one night, Remy's brother Emile had just finished dinner there. The brothers were saying goodbye outside the bistro. "I'll be up late cooking for the celebration tomorrow," Remy said. "So sweet dreams and no more eating tonight." While he was walking home, Emile thought about the party they were having the next day and the food. Emile hoped Remy would make ratatouille, his trademark vegetable dish. But as much as Emile loved Remy's gourmet cooking, he liked garbage food too. After all, he was a rat. So, when he saw an apple core, he was tempted to eat it then. He remembered what Remy had said. Emile continued on and went to bed. Meanwhile, Remy was hard at work cooking and baking at the restaurant. The smell of the delicious food floated out of the back door of the kitchen. It wafted onto in the sewers, finally drifting past the sleeping Emile's nose. Emile was having the loveliest dream. In it, a huge plate of yummy-looking garbage floated just out of his reach. But when he smelled Remy's cooking, Emile was so tempted by the pleasant aroma that he got to his feet, even though he was still asleep. Following his super sensitive rat nose, Emile sleepwalked along the pipes until he reached the source of the smell. Finally, he arrived in the kitchen, La Ratatouille. By then, Remy was taking a well-deserved break from cooking. It was a beautiful night, and he was outside on the back steps looking at the stars. He didn't see Emile sleepwalk out of a vent and onto the kitchen counter. Still asleep, Emile sniffed his way toward a large plate of fresh pastries that Remy had just baked. In his dream, Emile began to eat some garbage, but in the kitchen, he was eating the entire plate of sweets. Soon, Emile had devoured all the food Remy had just made for the party. When there was nothing left on the plate, Emile sleepwalked back into the sewers. His belly was full of some of the finest food in Paris. Even so, his tasty dream about garbage continued. So delicious," he murmured aloud to himself. "Best garbage I've ever tasted." A few minutes later, Remy returned to the kitchen, but instead of his wonderful baked goods, he found a plate of crumbs. "What in the world?" Remy cried. Who could have eaten so much food in the short time he had been outside? Then Remy had a suspicious thought, but he didn't have time to find out if he was correct. At least, not right then. He had to make more food for the party. The next day, Emile woke up in a sewer tunnel, far from his usual sleeping spot. He had no idea how he'd gotten there. "That's strange," he thought to himself. Then, as he got slowly to his feet, he noticed a feeling in his belly. It was that very full, very heavy feeling he got after a huge meal. But how can I be full now when I went to sleep feeling hungry? Emil wondered aloud. Just then, a lovely and unmistakable smell filled the air. Remy's ratatouille. Oh no, cried Emil, suddenly remembering the celebration. I overslept. I'm going to miss the party and the food. Emil stumbled along through the pipes. He couldn't run as fast as usual because he was extremely full, with a very full belly. But he made his way toward the yummy smell as fast as he could. Finally, Emil reached the end of the sewer pipe that led to the rat colony. He poked out of his head and saw that the party was in a full swing. He hadn't missed it, after all. But when Emil tried to join the fun, he found his belly was too big to fit through the pipe's opening. He tried to wiggle out, but it was no use. Hey, help! He cried. Remy looked over at his brother. He was not amused. Aha! I knew it. You're stuck because you're so full. You must be the one who ate all my food last night. I did? Emil replied. All I remember is a dream of lovely smelling garbage. Garbage? Remy cried. It wasn't garbage, and it wasn't a dream. You ate all the desserts I made for the party. I had to cook an extra batch of ratatouille instead. I'm sorry, Emil said. At least everybody loves your ratatouille, he added. Did I mention that it's my favorite too? Remy knew that it was, but Emil had eaten all of the desserts that Remy had worked so hard to make. So Remy finished off his plate of ratatouille right in front of the stuck Emil. Remy didn't tell Emil until later, but he'd saved some ratatouille for his brother, with the help of a few other rats. Remy pulled Emil out of the sewer pipe. That night, Emil went to bed with a very full tummy. He had eaten a dish of Remy's delicious ratatouille on top of the desserts from the night before. Early the next morning, the smell of breakfast cooking at La Ratatouille wafted past Emil's nose as he slept. But this time, he didn't even flinch. Instead, Emil had sweet dreams about his next wonderful meal at the restaurant, prepared by his brother Remy. The end. I hope you enjoy listening to this story. Sweet dreams. Please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to not miss any stories every time. Thank you, and see you soon.